What if everything you thought you had to do to attract a woman was actually pushing her away? Most men are so focused on doing all the right things, being more confident, saying the perfect lines, impressing her at every chance, that they completely miss the most important truth. It's not just about what you do, it's about what you must avoid. Because attraction isn't just created by saying the right words or making the right moves. It's destroyed by silent mistakes you don't even realize you're making. And that's where the real difference lies between men who effortlessly attract women and those who constantly find themselves confused, frustrated, or ghosted. It's not about trying harder. It's about stopping the things that silently kill attraction without warning. Here's the trap most men fall into. They think that if they're just nicer, if they give more, if they go out of their way to please her, she'll eventually see their worth and fall for them. But the harsh reality? These behaviors don't just fail, they backfire. In fact, they don't just weaken attraction, they erase it completely. The worst part? Most guys don't even know they're making these mistakes. They're left wondering, why did she lose interest? Why did she pull away? What changed? And by the time they figure it out, the damage is already done. So today, we're cutting through all the noise. No sugarcoating, no vague advice, just the truth, raw and direct. These are the 5 things you should never do with a woman if you want her to respect you, desire you, and feel a genuine attraction to you. Let's dive in. Mistake number 1. Seeking her validation. Few things kill attraction faster than a man constantly looking to a woman for emotional approval. And yet, most men don't even realize they're doing it. It shows up in sneaky ways. Do you still like me? Are you mad at me? I just wanted to make sure you didn't misunderstand me. Is it okay if I say this? Do you think I'm attractive? At its core, validation seeking comes from insecurity. It's placing your worth in her hands, hoping she'll approve of who you are. But here's the harsh truth. Women don't want to be your emotional babysitter. The moment she feels like she has to constantly reassure you, the attraction starts to rot. She wants a man who already knows his own value, not someone begging her to define it. So how do you fix this? 1. Detach from her reaction. Say something funny? Don't scan her face for a laugh. Made a decision? Don't backpedal just because she hesitated. Own it. 2. Give validation. Don't seek it. Shift the dynamic. Observe her. Challenge her. Compliment her in a way that shows depth, not just her looks, but who she is. 3. Understand that confidence is magnetic. Real confidence isn't loud or arrogant. It's quiet, calm, and unshakable. It says, I know who I am, whether you like it or not. A man who doesn't seek validation isn't just respected, he's desired. Mistake number 2. Putting her on a pedestal. There's a dangerous lie many men believe. If you treat her like a queen, she'll treat you like a king. Sounds noble, right? But it's wrong. In reality, the more you elevate her, the more she looks down on you. You can't build attraction by worshiping someone. You build it through mutual respect. And if you treat her like she's above you, she can never truly respect you. Now, that doesn't mean you treat her poorly. It means you treat her like a human, not a goddess floating above the clouds. So how do you stop putting her on a pedestal? 1. Don't over-compliment. If every word out of your mouth is praise, your compliments lose value. Let her earn them. Keep them sincere and rare. 2. Build a life that's bigger than her. Men who obsess over a woman often do it because they have nothing else driving them. Get focused. Have goals. Make her a part of your life, not the center of it. 3. Call her out when needed. If she crosses a line, say so. If she disrespects you, don't brush it off. Women respect men who set boundaries and hold them. Remember this. A woman doesn't fall for a man who idolizes her. She falls for a man who makes her feel something real. Because real attraction doesn't exist in fantasy, it exists in presence, power, and truth. Previously, we uncovered one of the biggest attraction killers, putting a woman on a pedestal. Now, let's keep the momentum going, because there's more you absolutely need to avoid if you want to keep her respect, desire, and attention. Let's be clear, she doesn't want to be worshipped. She wants something real. She wants a man who sees her not as a goddess floating above him, but as a woman, flawed, interesting, strong, and worthy of being challenged. What she truly craves is depth, tension, authenticity, not blind praise. So how do you stop idolizing her? First, stop over-complimenting. If you're constantly telling her how stunning, smart, or amazing she is, your words will lose meaning. Compliments, when given too freely, begin to sound hollow, like background noise. But when they're earned, when they're rare, genuine, and specific, that's when they matter. Second, build a life that doesn't revolve around her. Men who pedestalize women often do so because they have nothing else that drives them. So get busy. Chase your own goals. Fill your life with purpose and direction. The more grounded you are in your own journey, the less likely you are to lose yourself in hers. Third, call her out when necessary. If she says something disrespectful, say something. If she's acting entitled, don't tolerate it. A woman doesn't want a doormat. She respects a man who can draw clear lines and stand firm when they're crossed. Because in the end, she doesn't fall for a man who puts her on a throne. She falls for the man who makes her feel alive. And real attraction doesn't bloom in fantasy. It thrives in truth. Mistake number 3. Letting her control the relationship. Now here's a powerful truth. Women test men, not because they're cruel or manipulative, but because they need to know who you really are. They test your confidence, your patience, your ability to stand your ground. Why? Because deep down, she's not looking for control, she's looking for leadership. When a man fails these tests, when he gives up control to keep the peace, he quietly chips away at her respect for him. It starts small. Agreeing to everything she says, letting her make every decision, apologizing constantly even when you've done nothing wrong. You might think you're being kind or easygoing, but what she sees is a man who's afraid to lead. Let's make one thing clear. Leadership isn't about domination. It's about direction. A man who knows where he's going, who doesn't crumble under pressure, who calmly holds his course. That's a man a woman can trust. But the moment you hand her the reins, she starts to resent it, because she doesn't want to carry the weight of leading both herself and you. She wants to feel secure, and that only happens when you step into your role without fear. Last time, we uncovered a powerful truth. The man who can walk away doesn't just gain her respect, he becomes unforgettable. But there's one more behavior that quietly kills attraction even faster: inconsistency. Let's wrap up the final insights on walking away before we move forward. When a man walks away from a disrespectful or emotionally draining situation, something primal is triggered inside her. She sees a man who doesn't need her approval to validate his worth, a man who's not afraid to lose her. And in that moment, everything shifts. She realizes she has to show up as her best self if she wants to keep him. Because the truth is, women don't want a man they can manipulate or control. They want a man they have to earn. So when should you walk away? 1. When she disrespects you. Disrespect isn't always loud. It can sound like subtle sarcasm, eye rolls when you speak, belittling your goals, or constantly pushing your buttons. If you accept it, even once, you're silently telling her it's okay. That's a dangerous message. 2. When she plays games. If she's running hot and cold, keeping you guessing, or stringing you along just to see how much you'll chase, leave. These aren't signs of love or interest. They're power moves, and the best response is to step back entirely. 3. When she loses interest. If she starts pulling away, stops engaging, or treats you like a backup plan, don't chase her. Match her energy. If she truly values you, your silence will speak volumes. But if you beg for attention, you lose both her respect and the relationship. Now, how do you walk away like a man of strength? Not insecurity? Step 1. Don't announce it. Just do it. The moment you say things like, "You'll regret this," or "I'm done with you," you're looking for a reaction. That's not walking away, that's playing games. Real strength is quiet. No need for speeches, just action. Step 2. Make it about you, not her. You're not walking away to punish her. You're leaving because the situation no longer reflects the standards you hold for yourself. That subtle shift, walking away from something instead of at someone, says everything about your self-worth. Step 3. Never look back. Don't walk away and then send a "just checking in" message 2 days later. Don't stalk her stories or fish for updates. If you leave, leave fully. Looking back reopens the wound and weakens the message you sent. The final truth is this: a man who can walk away is a man who values self-respect more than temporary comfort. And that's exactly the kind of man a woman doesn't want to lose. Now let's talk about the 5th and final mistake: inconsistency. Women crave certainty. Not the kind that comes from arrogance or dominance, but the kind that comes from a man who is fully rooted in who he is. A man who doesn't change depending on who's watching. A man who stays true to himself, no matter the environment. When a man constantly shifts, says one thing, does another, changes depending on who he's around, he becomes impossible to trust. And when trust fades, attraction follows. Why? Because deep down, every woman is searching for something solid. She wants to feel that when the pressure's on, you don't crumble. That no matter what the world throws at you, you remain you. Sadly, most men fail this test, and don't even know it. They think they're being adaptable, that they're just going with the flow. But in truth, they're shapeshifting, changing opinions, changing values, changing energy, all to fit in, all to be liked. But what they don't see is that every time they shift to avoid conflict or gain approval, they chip away at their authenticity. And authenticity is the heartbeat of attraction. Because women aren't just looking for someone with money or looks. They're wired, biologically, to seek emotional and psychological stability. Back in ancient times, a woman's survival depended on choosing a man she could rely on. A man who wouldn't run at the first sign of trouble. A man whose word meant something. A man who didn't say one thing and do another. So today, when a man is inconsistent, when his mood flips suddenly, when he says he wants something serious but acts casually, when he's confident in public but insecure in private, her instincts light up like a warning alarm. He's not solid. I can't trust him. She may not know exactly why, but she'll begin to pull back. She'll test him more. She'll feel her attraction fading. Not because he's a bad guy, but because he feels unstable. How does inconsistency kill attraction? 1. It makes her question who you really are. If you keep changing, how can she believe what you show her is real? She'll start to question your motives. second guess your words, and eventually disengage emotionally. 2. It signals weakness, not flexibility. There's a difference between adapting and abandoning yourself. A strong man can shift his energy to fit the moment, be playful at a party, serious at work, tender with someone he cares about, but through it all, he stays grounded in who he is. But a man who shape-shifts depending on the situation, he looks lost, like someone who needs validation just to exist. And that's not attractive, that's unstable. In the last part, we saw how a man's consistency, his ability to stay grounded no matter the situation, is one of the most powerful traits he can possess. Now let's bring everything together with one final reminder of why standing firm in who you are matters more than anything else. Picture this: a man who seems confident at a party, composed in a meeting, supportive with a friend. He's playful, serious, caring, yet through all of it, he never loses his core identity. That's true strength. But then, there's the opposite. A man who changes depending on where he is or who he's with. One moment, he's deep and philosophical. The next, he's dismissive and aloof. Around his friends, he's bold and sure of himself, but alone with her, he turns insecure, hesitant. What happens? She no longer knows which version of you is real. And the second she starts doubting your authenticity, desire begins to fade. Because a woman can't desire someone she doesn't fully trust. And she can't trust a man who constantly shifts like sand in the wind. The power of being unshakable. Throughout history, the most magnetic, respected men were never the loudest or the flashiest. They were the ones who stood firm in the middle of chaos. Men like Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor, a philosopher, a leader, even with an empire at his feet, he never strayed from his values. He didn't bend with public pressure. He didn't play to the crowd. He led with principle. Or take someone like Bruce Lee. In the ring, he was fluid, adaptable, but his core never changed. His discipline, his philosophy, his essence remained intact. Even today, the men who stand out the most aren't the ones trying to impress. They're the ones who calmly say, "This is who I am. I will grow, I will evolve, but I will never betray myself." And that is rare. That is magnetic. So, how do you become that kind of man? Step 1. Define your values and stick to them. If you don't know what you stand for, you'll fall for anything. Take time to reflect. What matters to you? What kind of man do you want to be? Regardless of who's watching. And once you find that, don't let temporary discomfort shake it. Step 2. Be the same man in all situations. Whether you're with your boss, your best friend, or a woman you're attracted to, don't change your core. Yes, adjust your delivery, adapt your communication, but never shift your character. Consistency is what builds trust. Step 3. Align your words with your actions. If you say you're going to do something, follow through. If you claim to believe something, live by it. The second your actions betray your words, you lose credibility. And when credibility dies, attraction goes with it. Here's the hard truth. Attraction isn't only about what you do. It's also about what you refuse to tolerate. A man who constantly seeks validation, who puts a woman on a pedestal, who lets her control the relationship, who fears walking away, or who is inconsistent with who he is, loses her respect. And when respect is gone, everything else crumbles. Power, connection, attraction. But the man who leads with quiet strength, who stands firm in his worth, who doesn't bend to please or beg for approval, that's the man she remembers. That's the man who lingers in her mind long after he's gone. Because in a world full of men who bend, break, and beg, A man who stands unshaken is rare. So now the question is simple, but powerful. Are you the kind of man a woman can't help but respect? Or are you just another man hoping for her approval? The choice is yours. If you found this valuable, make sure to subscribe for more powerful insights. Stay strong, stay sharp, and I'll see you in the next one.
Thanks for spending time here. If this resonated with you, give it a like, send it to a friend, and make sure you're subscribed. Your support means everything.